So our next bill, I'll also invite up, I think, Andrew Bashi from the Great Lakes Environmental Law Center, and then afterwards we'll hear from a panel of local elected officials. But Senate Bill 1052, thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee members, for the opportunity to testify on this bill. On October 24th, I introduced this bill, which would create a comprehensive and modern hazardous waste management system here in the state of Michigan. It would strengthen environmental protections for communities across our state as well. It comes as Michigan communities voice increasing concerns about hazardous waste management, including recent controversies over toxic waste from the East Palestine train derailment being disposed of in Romulus and the site that we just talked about, and news that radioactive material from the Manhattan Project, yes, radioactive material from the Manhattan Project, the original atomic bomb, is being brought to Van Buren Township today as we speak. Both of these communities are located in my district, and I've had many conversations with local municipal leaders and residents who are horrified that potentially harmful materials being brought into their communities with little publicly available information made to them. SB 1052 includes several landmark provisions. This bill establishes a 5-year moratorium planning period during which treatment and storage facilities would not be permitted to be built or expanded. It also permanently bans the siting of new hazardous and radioactive waste injection wells in the state of Michigan. The bill currently requires the Department of EGLE to develop a comprehensive hazardous and radioactive waste management plan within this 5-year moratorium planning period, which would be the first time in over 30 years that we would have a statewide plan talking about this subject. The bill establishes a statewide capacity limit based on Michigan's own contributions to national hazardous waste generation. Crucially, the bill restricts new hazardous waste facilities from being sited in densely populated or overburdened communities or within 100 miles of those existing facilities. To protect taxpayers, this is really important. We've included language that significantly strengthens the financial assurance requirements for sites that close down, the bonding that's required. That's so important because right now the number is far too low. And as you'll hear today, residents and local leaders who live around these sites do not want them there. They are afraid for the well-being for themselves and their families and are looking to us for action. The bill is common sense. It allows current operations to continue while shielding us from an ever-growing waste stream of hazardous materials that threaten to turn our state into the premier dumping ground for North America. Newsflash, we are. This is a major problem. People are sending their material from everywhere else into our backyard. So I urge your support. It's an incredibly important conversation that we should be having, particularly as we're having large discussions about what should the state be doing to protect ourselves, given that we know a round of deregulation is coming from the federal government. So thank you, Mr. Chair, and I'll turn it over to Andrew.
Thank you, Senator Camilleri. Mr. Chair, members of the committee, as a staff attorney with the Great Lakes Environmental Law Center, I have had the honor of working directly with individuals and communities that have been impacted by these treatment, storage, and disposal facilities, specifically pertaining to hazardous waste. And I'm here to speak, obviously, in support of this bill. I just want to start with a little story that I hope will shed a little bit of light on why this bill is so necessary. In 2020, my organization filed a civil rights complaint on behalf of a group of residents of Detroit and Hamtramck. And that was in regards to Michigan's discriminatory siting of hazardous waste facilities. During the process, we submitted numerous FOIA requests to EGLE, MDEQ, LARA, all about the state's hazardous waste management plan. There's a law, the current version of this law required the state to complete one of these hazardous waste management plans back in 1990. Yet, the only plan that they knew of was from 1982. For months, these agencies couldn't locate any updates to the plan, insisting that the plan that they adopted in 1982 was the most recent version. Based on our research, we knew that there was a more recent version that existed. And it was about 6 months of back and forth when EGLE finally discovered that in December of 2020, there was in fact an updated plan from December 1991, a plan they did not even know existed. Now, in the decades since 1991, Michigan's developed the worst record in the nation regarding discriminatory citing of hazardous waste facilities. The statistics are stark. 65% of people living within 3 miles of a commercial hazardous waste facility in Michigan are people of color, despite making up only 25% of our total population. What makes matters even worse is that these facilities rarely serve their host communities. As of 2017, only 5% of waste processed at Michigan's commercial hazardous waste facilities originated in the county where the facility operates. 5%. 70% came from out of state. In essence, we've turned our state into the dumping grounds for hazardous waste from across the country. And Michigan became the dumping ground for hazardous waste and what we call T-norm, which is technologically enhanced naturally occurring radioactive material. It's, leave it up to scientists to come up with some ridiculous name, but we did it through our own inaction. In 2014, when states like Pennsylvania and others banned disposal of T-norm with high radioactive concentrations, we didn't follow up, and Michigan simply became the default destination for this waste. It's less about a conscious policy decision to be one of the only states accepting this waste. We just failed to act when other states did. And there's no reason Michigan should position itself as the nation's dumping ground. I can go on and on. I have a whole bunch that I would love to say and share. I'm pretty intimately, I was pretty intimately involved with this bill. I'm happy to help kind of with any discussions about some of the more technical pieces, but really, this is a very common sense update to our existing law. And really, I just want to finish up by saying that Michigan's communities deserve better than a hazardous waste management plan that was found in the lost and found, okay? It's time to bring our state into the modern era when it comes to handling these types of materials. So thank you for your time, and hopefully we'll have a little bit of time for questions maybe after other folks get to talk or however you guys want to do it.